Hey guys, what's up? As you know, my Hoya collection has been growing. Now, it's not growing at an alarming rate like my philodendrons, specifically the gloriosums, but it's been growing. And I actually want to share with you guys 5 of my most easy Hoyas that are currently growing in my care, and gotta admit, it's doing pretty good. So if you're actually getting into the Hoya game, or if you're interested in purchasing a Hoya but you've heard horror stories that they're difficult and are high maintenance, watch this video because I think I might have a couple of Hoyas that might interest you and just super easy to care for. So let's get into it. Alright, so let's start with this Hoya. Now this Hoya is the Hoya Lanaris, and you guys, this plant is so easy to care for. I don't even know. When I first purchased this plant, this was actually a not three leaf, but like 3 vine, stem, whatever you want to call it, cutting, and the length of the plant was actually kind of like this. So I had a couple of like little ones here, and the rest were like this length right over here. And now it's just doing its thing, and it's like arm's length. Yeah, it's like arm length now, and I'm quite pleased with it. So I'm sorry, I got distracted by how much it's grown. Yeah, this plant is just hanging out in soil. Nothing really exciting. It's just in front of a window. I don't give it special lighting. I don't give it extra humidity. It's just chilling. It's just chilling next to a windowsill, and it's doing great. Not much to say. Super easy. There's been times where I've let it dry out too much, but it's been very forgiving. I actually find that Hoyas like to dry out a little bit, not like too much, but just enough, you know. But yeah, this Hoya has been really something. I'm really impressed by how quickly it's grown, and I actually fell in love with this plant because when I was working at the what do you call it, like the market with Crystal Star Nursery, Crystal brought out a very mature Hoya Lanaris, and it was blooming, and I've never seen a Hoya bloom before. So I'm gonna just go ahead and throw a picture for you and show you guys why I fell in love with it. And it was just stunning. The way that it trailed, the bloom that it gave. I know that every bloom is supposed to have like a scent. I didn't really pick up any scent, but I did fall in love with it. And I don't know why I didn't pick it up at the time. I think I honestly was terrified of purchasing a Hoya because my first Hoya was a Hoya Carry Eye, and I thought I killed it. But I'll show you guys in a moment what it looks like now. But yeah, this one is a winner. I purchased this not too long ago, actually. I believe I purchased this in the summer of 2022, and from a 3 vine cutting, it's grown. And I think what I even did was I took like a cutting of it and I just shoved it back up here because now it's looking very full. And remember, I said I had only received three cuttings, so it's doing great now. And yeah, super easy. It's not getting special treatment, no extra humidity, no extra light. It's just doing its thing. Alright, so the next Hoya that I have that's super easy to care for is this Hoya Crimson Queen. Now, this plant came as a surprise because I actually received this plant as a like a freebie cutting because I had purchased another Hoya, and we're just not going to talk about her because she's slow growing, and we're here to talk about easy plants. So this Hoya was actually a 1-leaf cutting, and this was the original leaf right over here. And like I said, when I first received this plant, I did not care for it. I was like, I'm gonna put it next to the window, and if it grows, it grows. And 3 weeks later, it put off 2 leaves, which are these guys right over here, and I was shocked. Like, I was actually shocked as to how quickly it grew, and then it just kept growing. I have nothing negative to say about this plant because it's just doing so much after being neglected, and I'm not gonna smother it because that's how I kill my plants, but it's just doing great right now. It's currently in Leica, and that's how it was given to me, so I kept it the same, didn't do too much to it. Sitting in my living room next to a window, gets kind of drafty, but it's kicking it. One thing that I would say that I wish this plant did do is it's called the Hoya Crimson Queen for a reason, because when you sun stress your Hoyas, the edging over here where it's variegated will actually be red or turn pink or whatever. And I believe during the summertime, because it's facing an east facing window, the edging was red. And now that we are in winter, you don't get as much light, or the light isn't as intense as it was in the summer. It's lost its color, but perhaps in the summertime when it receives more light, it'll just kind of like pink up again. But I'm not mad at it. It's doing its thing. It now has a place in my home, and I'm gonna have to like stake this guy up because it's just waving right now. Alright, so the next Hoya that I have in my collection is actually one of my most expensive Hoyas that I currently own, and I'm just going to show you why. It's this Hoya Mattel Splash, and as you can see, it is so splashy. It's so perfect. To my surprise, I thought I was going to get a new growth from here where it was actually cut, but it didn't. It ended up having a growth spurt over on the other side and gave me these two new leaves right over here. When I first received this plant, I filmed, showed you guys what it looked like, and then I put it next to my window, which is east facing, and it just did its thing. So this Hoya Mattel Splash with the Crimson Queen just grew just fine next to my window, and yeah, I have nothing negative to say about it other than the fact that I kind of wish the new leaves were more splashy, but I'm not gonna write it off. It's too soon. I'm gonna wait for the spring just to see what happens, but I'm happy it's in my collection. It's super easy, and I know that it's not growing as fast as I would like compared to the other Hoya cuttings that I have, but you know, variegated or splashy Hoyas tend to grow a little bit slower than just your typical Hoyas, so it's still a winner for me. Alright, so we're switching things up and we are currently downstairs, and quite frankly, these Hoyas are very large and I really did not want to mess around and take it upstairs to show you guys because I just don't want to risk being clumsy and breaking them. But in any case, we have here my Hoya Mattel and my Hoya Carry Eye, and I'm actually just gonna carefully remove them off the stand that they're on and show you guys up close what they look like now. So this was absolutely terrifying. Now, the reason for that is because this Hoya Carry Eye was just entangled with the Hoya Mattel and they were just coexisting together. But we're fine now. So this Hoya Carry Eye is my very first Hoya that I've ever purchased, and I purchased this back in May of 2020, and it's just been doing fantastic. If you take a look at it, I have several vines in one pot, and it's just loving life. So when I first received this plant, I think there was 3 vines in here, and not gonna lie, I was having a panic attack because I didn't really know how to take care of it, and I was just getting into the plant game, and I think I smothered my plant way too much, which caused it to actually drop leaves. And for the first, I would say, for the first year, I thought I killed this plant because there was no new growth. I was just getting really long vines without any leaves. But but Steven said just leave it alone. It's gonna figure it out, it'll do its thing, and it sure did. So this plant has been living in this corner right over here. I haven't moved it. I haven't done anything different since 2020. Maybe every now and then I'll give it some more humidity, like I'll put a humidifier next to it, but otherwise I don't really do anything too special to this plant. I weekly fertilize it, and yeah, I just let it be. Now, when I purchased this Hoya, I was told that it was a regular carry eye, like it wasn't a splash, and there's some splashiness going on over here. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but I do have some splashing. Oh, I hope the camera is definitely not. There we go. So when I first picked up this plant, I was told that it was a like a green carry eye and that it wasn't a splash form, but you can see there's some splashing here, and yeah, every leaf has a little bit of splash, but it's not like super splashy. Like I've seen some really splashy carry eyes that makes me very jealous, but you know what? Those splashy ones are slow growers and this one is just doing fantastic, so I'm happy about that. And currently right now, the older leaves are actually starting to kind of like wither away, but that could also be because I was moving things around and I kind of disturbed the plant, so it might be throwing a fit, but it's overall doing really well. So like I said, this plant has been nothing but super easy. I think just the first, I know that to say like the first year is a very long time, but you got to remember it was my first time. I didn't really know what I was doing, so I feel like if you treat your plants the way it should be treated and you know how to care for them in the first place, I don't think it's going to take that long to acclimate, but it's still one of the easiest growing plants that I have in my collection. All right, so the last easy Hoya in my collection is this Hoya Mattel right over here. Now, I had purchased this plant back in June of 2021, and it has definitely taken off. Now, let's just talk about how long these vines are. I'm 5'4", and these vines that you can see right here are half of me. And the vines that are currently wrapped around these two acrylic sticks were 5'4". So the length of those vines were actually like the length of me, and I had to actually stake them up with these acrylic sticks because Steven said, hey, your vines are going out of control, they're growing into the wood back here, so you're gonna have to do something about that. So I did. I got some acrylic sticks and fishing wire, and my plan for this was to kind of like loop the vines through it and hope that the plant itself just kind of wants to grow upwards, but trilling is fine too. I might give it a haircut in the spring, but for now I'm gonna see how the top part of this is gonna grow. But detangling this was a nightmare. I don't recommend detangling this once it's gotten to a certain length. It was just a nightmare. But it is a very easy plant because it's just been hanging out here with a Hoya Carry Eye. It's not receiving extra humidity. It receives 9 hours of light, and it's still putting off growth even during the winter time. And you know, during the winter you don't get as much light as you would during the spring and summer. But both of my plants down here are doing great. They look very full and they're very healthy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video on my top, I guess, 5 easy Hoyas to have in your collection. And I think what I'll do is I will also create a video as to which Hoyas were very hard for me to grow, or at least slow growing Hoyas that are currently in my collection. But in any case, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.